Hello everyone, this is 19th MCQ. In the stem of MCQ, 2 weeks age male neonate brought to the pedia department. Mother is saying he is having difficulty in breathing since last 1 day. Baby is taking the breastfeeding but finished the feed slowly. He has no significant birth history and born term vaginally. In general physical examination, he is alert, afebrile and well hydrated. Heart rate 235 beats per minute. So it is significantly raised. Baby is having the tachycardia. Blood pressure 60 by 44 mmHg. It is normal for the newborn. Respiratory rate 40 breaths per minute. It is also normal. SpO2 98 on room air. Now in systemic examination, rales present in the bilateral lung base. So this can be because of tachycardia and patient is developing the signs of CCF. Now in the ECG, here you can see in the ECG, it is showing the narrow QRS complex. So characteristic narrow complex tachycardia is there with the regular rhythm. So whenever there is a narrow complex tachycardia and heart rate too high, more than 200 beats per minute, in otherwise alert, afebrile and active child, we should suspect SVT, supraventricular tachycardia. Now read the options. First is cardioversion. It is the treatment modality for the supraventricular tachycardia. Now second option is IV bolus, 20 ml per kg normal saline. As mentioned in the MCQ, child is alert and well hydrated. So when the child is not showing any sign of dehydration, child is taking the feeds properly but slowly compared to the previous day, need not to give the IV bolus. Already child is hydrated. In such situation, if we will give the IV fluid, these signs of CCF will be deteriorated. So child will not show the improvement. So this option is the wrong option. Now the C option is intravenous antibiotic. As in the stem of the MCQ, child is alert, afebrile, not showing any sign of sepsis, also even taking the feed. While in the sepsis, child will have the refusal to feed, will be febrile or hypothermic, will not be alert, having the drowsy, lethargy, irritability, or hydration will also be affected, maybe showing the signs of dehydration also. So there is a no sign of sepsis, so need not to start the IV antibiotic. Now the fourth option is vagal maneuver. It is also for the supraventricular tachycardia. So in SVT we have to first try the vagal maneuver. If not responding, then adenosine. If not responding, then cardioversion. So here ask first intervention. So first intervention is vagal maneuver. So right answer for this MCQ is D. We will first give vagal maneuver. Now some of the important points about the supraventricular tachycardia. It is the most common cardiac arrhythmia in children and most common mechanism for the SVT is it is the manifestation of accessory conduction pathway which allow the atrioventricular impulse to re-enter the normal pathway, thus completing the circuit and stimulating atria and ventricle at a fast rate. In clinical features, infant and young children may have poor feeding, pallor, tachypnea, irritability, excessive crying. But if SVT persists for more than 6 to 12 hours, then they can develop the shock and congestive cardiac failure also. Older children, they have the palpitation, chest pain, headache, breathlessness, and even the bounding sensation in neck can be present due to neck pulsation. It is Cannon wave as atrium contract against simultaneously ventricle contracts. Diagnosis of SVT is based on the history part, physical examination finding and ECG. So in examination, heart rate rapid and regular, range between 240 plus minus 40 beats per minute. ECG will show the narrow QRS complex tachycardia except in 10% cases where the wide QRS due to the aberrant conduction can be there. P wave generally invisible in SVT, but abnormal P wave can be visible in some of the cases. Now the difference between supraventricular and sinus tachycardia. So heart rate is too high, more than 220 beats per minute in supraventricular tachycardia, while it is less than 180 beats per minute in sinus tachycardia. Sinus tachycardia can be because of fever, anxiety, sepsis, shock. Heart rate variability, there is no marked variation, while there is a marked variability, depend on the degree of fever or severity of the dehydration. ECG will show the narrow QRS complex plus P wave absent. If detected in small cases, it is abnormal. Here, narrow QRS complex with normal P wave if detected. And in this, causes are not obvious, and here causes are obvious. Either sepsis, fever, or shock patient will have. So the treatment of supraventricular tachycardia, first we should try the vagal maneuver in which carotid sinus massage, Valsalva or application of ice pick to the face in infant we can do. We generally do the use of ice pick to the face. Eyeball pressure can also be done in the adults, but we should never try this in children because the risk of injury to the eyes can occur. If not responding to the vagal stimulatory maneuver, then adenosine is the drug of choice. Its mechanism of action is it transiently blocks the AV node, so interrupting the re-entrant pathway. But only short half-life, 10 to 15 seconds, so we have to give the rapid IV bolus of adenosine, 50 microgram per kilogram. It should be followed by normal saline flush by the push of 10 ml normal saline. We can repeat at 1 to 2 minute interval. Maximum dose we can give 250 microgram per kilogram. So to give the adenosine loaded syringe and another syringe with the 10 ml normal saline should be ready and should be connected both syringes to the three-way. After giving adenosine, fastly we have to give the normal saline also. If not responding to the adenosine and also showing the sign of congestive cardiac failure, then we can try the cardioversion and dose of energy 0.5 joule per kg to 2 joule per kg we can give for SVT. What are the side effects of adenosine? Autonomic disturbance. Patient may have the feeling of impending doom, excessive salivation, abdominal pain, vomiting, flushing, headache in 20% cases. Bronchospasm, apnea, prolonged asystole, accelerated ventricular rhythm can occur, atrial fibrillation, wide complex tachycardia. So whenever we are giving the adenosine, continuous ECG monitoring should be done for these changes. If the patient is having frequent recurrence, then we can try the desoxin in the absence of WPW syndrome. We can start the propranolol if the patient is having presence of WPW syndrome, IV verapamil whenever age is more than 1 year. In less than 1 year, it is contraindicated because of risk of hypotension and shock. All these drugs act by producing the AV block. So this is all about SVT. Thank you so much.